My name is Elena Cross. I'm 27. And a week ago, my parents tried to teach me a lesson. By setting me up to fail, my father thought I'd crumble under pressure. My mother laughed and told everyone I wouldn't last 5 minutes in the room. They were wrong. It started at breakfast. My father, Victor Cross, slid a thick folder across the table without looking at me. You want to prove yourself? Fine. You'll represent us at the Seattle merger. His tone was casual, but the challenge underneath it was sharp. My mother, Diane, let out a quiet laugh behind her teacup. She'll panic halfway through, she said. This should be interesting. I didn't react. I just smiled. All right, I said calmly. I'll handle it. That night, I didn't sleep. The contract was over 100 pages long. I read it twice. Then again. I flagged inconsistencies, marked weak clauses, and mapped out leverage points the legal team had completely overlooked. By midnight, my apartment was covered in notes. My cat, Orion, curled up on top of the paperwork like he owned the deal. By 3 a.m., I knew the contract better than anyone in that company, including my father. At 9 a.m., I walked into the conference room. Glass walls, marble table, 12 executives in tailored suits. Every head turned. The chairman frowned slightly. Where's Mr. Cross? I placed the contract on the table. He sent me. A pause. Then I added, evenly, he thought I should learn what competence looks like. The meeting lasted 3 hours. By the end of it, I had increased our partnership share by 12%, secured exclusive rights to key intellectual property, eliminated a clause that would have cost us millions long-term. When it was over, the opposing CEO shook my hand. You just saved your company over $2 million, he said. I nodded. I know. That night, I didn't celebrate. I wrote a press release. By sunrise, every major outlet carried the same headline: Elena Cross finalizes landmark deal. Youngest negotiator in company history. The next morning, I walked into the office at 8:05. Silence hit instantly. People stopped mid-conversation. Some stared, others avoided eye contact. On the glass wall of my father's office, a newspaper was taped up. My name was in bold across the front. Victor stood there, holding it. When he saw me, his jaw tightened. You went to the press. I set my bag down. The PR team followed standard protocol. You were copied. My mother's voice came through the speakerphone. Elena, do you understand what you've done? Everyone's asking why you led the meeting. I didn't hesitate. Because I did. My father sat down, slowly. That deal was meant to humble you, he said, not make headlines. That almost made me laugh. You didn't send me to learn, I replied. You sent me to fail. A pause. I just didn't. For a moment, the room was silent. Then something unexpected happened. My father let out a quiet chuckle. You're just like your mother. I stepped closer. No, I said. I'm like the woman she used to be. I leaned over his desk, meeting his eyes. From now on, I said, when you introduce me, don't call me your daughter who's still learning. I straightened. Call me your partner, the one who just saved your company. Then I walked out. By noon, the entire company was buzzing. Investors were calling. Media requests were stacking up. My father wanted control, but control was already gone. At the emergency board meeting, he tried to regain it. Elena's success is commendable, he said, but she's still learning. One of the directors, Margaret Hale, raised an eyebrow. She just outperformed your entire executive team, she said. Maybe the structure should change. Murmurs spread across the room. I stepped forward. Experience isn't measured in age, I said. It's measured in results. Then I showed them the numbers, growth projections, risk reduction, market impact, silence again. But this time it wasn't. It was realization. That evening, I got a message from an unknown number. You made them listen. Don't stop. I didn't need to know who sent it. They were right. Within days, everything shifted. I negotiated my own division. Cross-digital ventures. Independent. Fully mine. My mother called it ungrateful. I called it necessary. A week later, we secured a $5 million tech partnership. The company surged. The media called it a new era. My father called it nothing. But he stopped showing up to my meetings. At a private investor dinner, someone told him, "If she's your future, your company's in good hands." I saw it in his face, pride and something else. Acceptance. Then came the headline that changed everything. Elena Cross named co-CEO of Cross Industries. The board had voted unanimously. When I walked into his office, he was staring at the paper. "I thought I could control how this happened," he admitted. "I set 2 cups of coffee down. You taught me how to win." I said, "You just didn't expect me to use it here." For the first time in years, there was no hierarchy between us, just truth. At the press conference, cameras flashed as I stepped forward. "This company isn't changing direction," I said. "It's expanding its vision." Applause filled the room. My father reached out for a handshake. I hugged him instead. Short, professional, final. That night, I sat in my apartment, city lights stretching endlessly outside. Orion curled up beside me. My phone buzzed. A message from my mother. "We're proud of you, even if it took us too long." I read it, then set the phone down. Because the truth was, I didn't need their approval anymore. I never did. They tried to make me a lesson. I became the headline.